So welcome to the Basic Saturday Sampler for August of 2022. Kits for August will be available beginning Saturday, August 20th through August 31st. You can bring in your completed July block during those dates to get your August kit free. You can also come in this Saturday, August 20th at 9:15 for our in-store demonstration of today's August block. All right, so come on, let's take a look at the block. We are looking at an on-point design. So we're actually going to construct it in rows, and we're going to use side triangles and corner triangles to turn it into a setting, a side setting. All right, so there's no real hard rulers involved in this. I simply use a 6.5 by 12.5, but the cutting on this is really what we have to be careful. We have a lot of fractions, and I will show you on the ruler again where you can find your 3/8 and 7/8. So on the cream fabric, the first thing we're going to do is cut out two squares that are 2 7/8. Then we'll cut a 5 1/4 and a 5 1/4. The 2 7/8 squares are going to get cut on the diagonal once. These are going to be our corner setters. They go on each of the corners. The 5 1/4 is going to get cut on the diagonal twice. And these are our side setting triangles. All right. The yellow and the brown, you're going to get a square. You need to cut 4 3 3/8 squares from each yellow and the brown. And then the multi-shell, you'll need 5 3 3/8 squares. All right, so I've gone ahead and cut the squares. I still need to cut on the diagonal, and then we'll assemble the block. Okay, so the 2 7/8, they get cut on the diagonal one time. I have two fabrics here, so I'm just going to put my ruler right into the corners, and I'll go ahead and cut this on the diagonal one time from corner to corner. All right, so there's our 4. I have two squares that are 5 1/4. These are going to get cut on the diagonal twice, so I'm going to go from this corner to this corner, cut, and I'm just going to leave it alone. Just go ahead and move my ruler to these corners and cut a second diagonal. All right, now it's time to put our rows together. We're going to make a couple sets of blocks. We're going to make a shell, yellow shell. So we're going to assemble this row right here. Shell, yellow shell, twice, because I have two of those. And we're also going to assemble a row that goes brown, yellow, shell, yellow, brown. And then we'll talk about the setting triangles. So we have our yellow shell, yellow shell, yellow shell, sorry. And we'll do it again. And in the center, we have our shell and our yellow, just like this. And these are going to be up at the top. So our two sets of shell, yellow shell get sewn together in a strip, as do these 5 squares that are all the exact same size, 3 3/8. And then the second strip of the shell, yellow shell, and then the 2 browns go at the top. So once you get these 3 sewn, those 5 sewn, and those 3, it's time to add our setting triangles. So we're going to go ahead and take our 5 1/4, and we're going to place them at the ends of each of our rows, except our middle row, of course. So we're just going to slide those in here. It's going to start forming a side going down this way and then this way. So this is going to fill in here and here, and then our last row is down here. So when we sew these on to the ends. It's simply a 90-degree triangle or corner against a 90-degree corner. So when we sew this, we're just going to put our right sides together, and we're going to sew our 1/4 inch straight down. So this one's going to have a setting triangle in this direction, and this one is the same thing. So we're going to have strips that start and end with setting triangles, except our middle, including this one, and the top two. All right. So what I've done is I've already gone ahead and sewn our strips together. So at this point, all I have left are my corner triangles, and I have it upside down because at this point we want to be able to press our rows in opposite directions. So we can press in one direction or the other, or we can press toward the yellow. These can go into the yellow, these can go out, as long as we have opposite seams. So I think what I'll do is I'll start with the brown, and I'll press outward with the brown, inward with the yellow. It really doesn't matter as long as we know that they're going in opposite directions. Okay, these are in, and these can go in. These gotta go out. These have to go out. So if this one's going in, this one's coming out, in, out. And again, it really, as long as they're opposite, it doesn't matter. So once we get this set, in, we can go ahead and put our rows together. So once I have this one and this one, we're just going to grab it like this, and I can lock my seams in place. I have the seam going in that direction on top, in this direction on the bottom. So I can go ahead and lock my seams, and I'm going to lock them here and then here. And what I like to do is put a little pin just so they don't move on me, and I get a nice intersection at each of these points. Okay, so I'll go ahead. I don't have a pin. I'm just going to go ahead and sew. It's okay. So I'll put my first row together, and then I'll show you where the corner ones go. So I'm going to start up at the top. I'm going to lock my seam. I can feel my two seams going in opposite directions. I'll just hold my finger on it, and I'm going to get this next one set up, and go ahead and sew that one. We're going to sew all our rows together. Going to add my last one down here so I can show you this one. Just going to sew onto this one, and we're going to go ahead and sew that just so I can show you how to get the end going. So I'm going to lock this seam, and this seam, when you start, should be very close to the little valley that you've created when you put the two pieces together. Okay? Should be very close. And every time I feel a joining of the seams, I want to make sure that that's locked. Nice and snug together. Okay. So we're going to continue with the other side of this. And meanwhile, we're going to sew each of our rows together. Okay. just like that. And then the last thing we need to do is add our corner triangles. So those were from the 2 7/8 that we've cut. They're going to go here and here after we've given it a nice press, and the last one on the end. So let me go ahead, press this real quick. And I'll give my little triangle up at the top. And if you want to find the center of this, you can always fold it in half and give it a little bit of a finger press, and you can find the halfway mark there. And you can fold this in half from your seams, and you can find the halfway part right there. So I have my little seam here, and right here, and right here. I'm just going to match those together, and we have nice equal distance on either side, and it's going to sew right into that gap and right out that gap. So let's go do that. So I can This is a very quick block, and it's something we haven't tried yet this year, so I hope you enjoy it. We're just going to, so this is the side of my block, and as soon as we continue, I have half of it done. We'll continue on and sew the rest of it. All right, pretty simple. And again, if you'd like to see us put the block together in person, you can certainly come this Saturday, again at 9:15, August 20th, and sit and watch us sew and ask questions. And I hope you enjoy the video. And please don't forget, on the 20th, that Saturday, when you come in for your kit, bring your block. But we also have a wall that's fabrics, selected fabrics for $5.99 a yard, and we have panels for $5 that we've put there, and beautiful Quilter Select rulers at a really low discount. So I hope to see you on Saturday. Thank you for watching.